NBA Finals are over, and on the interweb over the last couple of days, a graph emerged showing the NBA Final average ratings the last 30 years. Like any graph, there's good years, bad years. It has been made out to be a definitive commentary on the mess that the NBA is today. So at the NBA's height, its highest ratings, that was Michael Jordan, Utah Jazz, Swan Song, 25 million people watched the finals. That was its high point. Every business has a high point, right? Like, it didn't matter if it's Amazon, Facebook, Apple. You can't look at the high and say, what's wrong with the other decades or years? Businesses fluctuate. Cultures change. So at its high point, it averaged in that finals 25 million. It is mostly over 30 years averaged about 16, 17 million. Right now, it's at about 12 and a half. Celtics, Warriors, Nuggets, Heat, about 12 and a half. It's dead, they proclaim. Oh, the kids are so fun and cute and adorable. It was dead in the 70s, I was told. That's when the NBA Finals were on tape delay after your 11 o'clock news. Yet it rebounded. Why? Michael Jordan emerged. Stars emerged. It was dead in 2003 and 2007, 30% lower than today. Why? Because Tim Duncan and the Spurs were boring. They were getting 9 million, and there was no politics involved. Also didn't have the cable world having the power it does today, where far left, far right, big opinions. The NBA is fine. Look at its TV packages. But what is also never discussed is this. At the height, the Michael Jordan era, New York was very good and really relevant with a star, Patrick Ewing. Biggest city in the country. Los Angeles, the second biggest city in America, had stars, was well-run, viable. The third biggest city in America, Chicago, had its greatest team ever and the league's greatest team ever. The first, second, third biggest cities in America were freaking rolling in the NBA. New York, Chicago, and L.A. in the last 12 years, one bubble year finals and combined losing records. Markets matter in everything except the NFL. In fact, the NBA actually should do a better job rigging the league so big markets are better. Atlanta, D.C., Detroit, Philadelphia had an 8-year trust the process. New York, Chicago, mostly crappy. Clippers underachieve. Lakers are a bit of a mess. Those are their big markets. Oklahoma City's well run. San Antonio's about to emerge again. Miami's not a big market. They're well run. Milwaukee's good, and now Denver's kicking butt. It's not exactly who you'd pick to be the centerpiece of the league. Yes, the NFL is market proof. But in the NHL, they just got terrible Stanley Cup ratings. Why? Because it was Vegas and Florida, non-traditional hockey powers. In March Madness, if Duke, Kansas, Carolina, Syracuse get bounced early, the ratings go down. In Major League Baseball, no Yankees, no Dodgers, no Braves, Cubs. The postseason ratings aren't as good. We know this to be true. The NFL is market proof. Everybody else needs big markets, big cities, or traditional powers. I also think you can make an argument politics does hurt. Kaepernick, whether you view that as politics or not, many did, the ratings dipped. Black Lives Matter, I didn't see it as politics. Most or many of you did. Probably dinged it a little. But the two things that never get discussed with the NBA, because we know the cliquey world we live in, are one, the big markets stink. New York, LA, and Chicago, markets at its best that were kicking major butt, haven't been very good for about 12 years. And the second thing is the league is getting very international. There's only about 4 players, 5 players per draft that end up being impactful NBA players. What's impactful? A defined role, the kind of player that helps you win a playoff series, a winning player. Aaron Gordon's not a star. He's highly impactful. Andrew Wiggins was just talented in Minnesota. He's impactful for Golden State. The average NBA draft gives you about 4 of those. Gives you 30 guys who are talented. Gives you about 4 of those guys that matter in the postseason. So there's a story out this morning. The Miami Heat, incredibly well run over the last 15, 20 years with Pat Riley, are going to pursue Bradley Beal. Now, I think Bradley Beal over Damian Lillard makes some sense. He's bigger. He's younger, a little healthier. He's not quite the player. But you get a lot of upside and a longer tarmac on how long he can play with Jimmy B and with Bam Adebayo. So I was having dinner with Rick Bucher last night. By the way, I'm an amazing chef and host. That be that as it may. We got into this discussion over a cigar that the whole you need 3 stars to win a title is a bunch of hooey. I don't even think you need 2 stars. The Bucks won a title. Who's their second star? Chris Middleton? They're trying to get him out of town now. Dirk and the Mavs won a title. They didn't have a second star. And stop with Jason Kidd. He was 37 years old. He was no longer an all-star. The Raptors won with Kawhi Leonard. Kyle Lowry's not a star. He's just a good basketball player. What you need is not even 2 stars. You need 3 highly impactful players. The Bucks, Giannis was the best player in the league. Middleton had a great playoff run, and Drew Holiday has been impactful his entire career. The Raptors, Kawhi was a star. Pascal Siakam made his first all-star team, was an emerging top player. And Kyle Lowry's not a star. He's just a really impactful, good basketball player. Miami currently does not have 3 impactful players. They have 2. What about Tyler Hero? Oh, he once won 6th Man of the Year. This year was his first year in the starting lineup. He wears cool hats watching games. But did you notice when he got hurt, their offense got better? It did. They had the worst offense in the league when Tyler was playing. They suddenly got really good in the postseason. Is Bradley Beal a star? Kind of. DC's a bad hoops market last 25, 30 years. But he is really impactful. And he would be Miami's 3rd impactful player. And I believe he would make them the favorite to win the East. Boston, percolating, still close. Beal, Butler, Bam, 3 impactful players. And again, what is impactful? A defined role, a winning player. John Wall was more talented. Beal's more impactful when the two played together. Wall's the super talent. A lot of garbage points and assists, forgettable. You don't remember one great playoff moment for John Wall. Bradley Beal's a more impactful player than John Wall. And can you be a key cog in a playoff series? I believe Bradley Beal can be. In my years watching this league and talking to players, execs in the league, Beal has been the one guy everybody wants to get their hands on that stays with a losing franchise. The LeBron camp likes him. The KD camp likes him. The Chris Paul camp likes him. The smart veteran players in the league know the guy can ball, but he's been loyal. He sort of stayed where he stayed. And where Dame has done that too, Dame is regarded as an impactful star. Beal, I think it's exciting. He finally wants to join 2 other impactful players, and I think Miami would get back, probably have to give up a Tyler Hero. I'm okay with it, but I think Miami would get back with Spoelstra, Riley helping build it to the final. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.